Alright, hello everybody, ladies and gentlemen, Conman here. We are going to talk about some patch notes that are out right now on the PTR. These actually hit yesterday, so today's the 30th as I'm recording this right now. I'm a little behind. I was out of town for a bit, so I didn't get a chance to go dive in, but we're going to do so right now. So as I just said, these are on the PTR as we speak. They're going to be up, it looks like, until February 5th. I believe the 6th is when everything is going to go live on that Tuesday. We've got a new hero, we've got an event, a couple of UI changes, some balance changes, or at least some talent changes we can talk about as well. So we'll dive right in. We'll go through. It's not terribly long. So for starters, as I mentioned, we've got the Lunar Festival is the new event. Pretty straightforward stuff. Play some games, get some items. Eventually you can win some games and you'll get a mount, it looks like. So you get 2 games, 5 games, 8 games, and then to win 5 games, and then you'll get some stuff. There is a link to the site we'll go to right here. You can kind of take a look at what we're talking about. So we've got, I think that's the mount that we've got right there. These are the skins that are going to be available during the mount based in the chest that you might pick up. So I like that Kel'Thas skin. Actually, the Cassia skin is pretty good too. That's a pretty neat mount. There's the golden lunar skyrocket. So the one that we get is lunar skyrocket. This is the golden skyrocket. So I imagine that one will be purchased with gold. I haven't actually checked the collection to see for myself. Lots of sprays and portraits and stuff. So that's kind of neat. I see where they're going with that. It doesn't look like there's too much to it. And then there will be a brawl. There we go. We got a themed brawl as well. So that's kind of nice. Straightforward stuff, pretty standard there. It's just cute things, so have fun. New hero, Maiev. I don't know how to pronounce her name. I've never known how to pronounce her name. I'm gonna butcher the hell out of this. So anyway, she is joining the Nexus. She is the warden of Illidan, chasing his ass down for 10,000 years or so. So her trait is Vault of the Wardens. I'll probably do a separate video with her just to showcase it, but she is in the game. As you can see, her main trait is that she gets to hop up and kind of avoid damage for a little bit of time. Her heroic abilities seem kind of neat. Well, I'll talk about those more in a future video, so we'll kind of gloss over this for now, just to be safe, just to be to be clear. She is in the game right now on the PTR. You can go check her out. Otherwise, we've got a couple of UI updates here we want to talk about. First off, voice chat is being introduced finally. They announced it way back during BlizzCon. It's only on the PTR at the moment, and it looks like it's going to be on the PTR for some time. This might not make it to the live server right away as we're taking a look right here. While available in the PTR, voice chat will not be enabled on the live servers. Again, I haven't checked it out yet. I don't see too much to it in the game interface. Well, I can show that off real fast. So it looks like by default, players will automatically join party chat. Team voice chat is opt-in, so it sounds like it's going to work pretty similarly to Overwatch. So take that for whatever it's worth. Voice settings can be adjusted. You can do voice activation. You can choose a push-to-talk key as well. This one's kind of neat. This is the target info panel. This is one they mentioned at BlizzCon as well. Hadn't been there for a while. Target info panels have been introduced to allow players to investigate a unit's gameplay stats in real time. Target info panel will display in the top left of the screen after selecting them with left click, and it can be repositioned and it'll stick around there. Double clicking the info panel will reset it to the default position. So actually I'm going to show this off real fast. Let's change this page out here. You can see I am in the game right now. So playing around, I'm actually in try mode with Greymane. So if I were to just click on this target dummy, you see I've actually repositioned it. It started way up here. I can left click and drag this sucker around anywhere that I want. It'll actually stay there. Like I can just have it click up dead center. I can left click on top of it, doesn't do anything. I can right click around it. It's fine. There's no problems there. But you see, let's highlight this here target siege giant rather. You can see its damage. You can see its attacks per second. You can see its attack range, spell power for modification, its movement speed, its health. Anything going on there. You can see that the target dummy no longer called Chaos, for the record, if you're paying attention to our exciting home game. You can see the same for all of the minions. You can see it for allies. You can see it for Arthas here. You can watch it go down in real time. If I were to dive into here, you can watch his health drop down. There you go.
future belongs to those.
That's kind of neat. It works in structures, as you can see right here on this tower. And when it dies and it blows up, it will go away. So that's kind of cool. It's maybe a little small. I'm going to put this right back down here for the moment just to get out of my way. I would like if this was a little bit bigger, or if this was... First of all, it's great. I do think it's something, this is a long time coming. It really needed to be in the game a long time ago. You want to be able to see kind of who you're targeting and what their stats are. Maybe why they're doing... See, this one's got armor as well. Why they're doing... You can check yourself. Why someone is maybe not taking damage or taking more damage than you might expect. All kinds of things. I would like to be able to resize this. That's the only thing. It's a little small on the screen. And you can see the colors are weird. Like, this is white text against... Because I'm like at a quarter health, or I'm myself, like white text against the yellow background, it makes it a little bit difficult to read. So that's tough. While I'm here, we'll go to the options. We'll show you what we've got for voice chat. So voice chat, you can choose what to auto do. You can choose your system devices, your volume, your sensitivity. You can do open mic or push to talk. So there are ways to go. I don't see any options for the targeting panel here. So it doesn't look like there's anything going on with that. Maybe they'll add that in a later date. But again, I wish it was just a little bit bigger. Maybe a little bit easier to read. But yeah, that's all for that. Let me get out of range of this boy here. We'll toggle back. So other than the info panel, which is probably the big thing, and then voice chat, I'm curious to see how voice chat plays out. I'm curious to see how voice chat's going to be policed for toxicity and whatnot, but I guess that is also one of the reasons why it's not going live right away. We've got battleground objective counters, all battlegrounds with turn-in mechanics. So we've got Blackheart's Bay, Team with Spider Queen, Booty Coffers, etc. will now show a visual indicator when a team's gathered objective count is high enough to complete a turn-in. Alright, I guess that's nice. Sure, do the math for me, I suppose. I don't know if that's really necessary. I'm not going to complain, but that's fine. Ping icons that appear overhead have received updated visual effects. Cool. Can we show that? Like, I don't... Let's see here. Switch back over. Okay. That seems like it's just more visible, I suppose. So have fun with that, spammers. You do your thing. Some new art for a bunch of different heroes. I don't really need to get into it too much, I don't think. Let's talk Battlegrounds. Rotation is going to be changing. Big changes, actually I did mention this, start with big changes to Volskaya Foundry to the Triglav Protector. One of the main complaints about this map so far is that the objective is goddamn useless. It's better off to only have one person control it, and it really doesn't make a whole lot of difference. And the map times for this particular map was taking a long time because it really wasn't very good at pushing structures. So they've addressed a lot of those concerns. I don't know if it's going to be too much in the other direction, but we shall see. So, it now gains 10 armor and 25 increased damage when both pilot and gunner seats are occupied. So now you actually, for the damage, you're going to want to have two people in the mech. The base health has been increased across the board regardless. Health scaling has increased regardless of one or two people. The duration structure debuff has been increased. I mean, I think you could root a hero with this thing. This is going to be really big, actually. The Rocket Fist. You root a hero for 4 seconds, he's probably going to die, so that can make for some pick potential. They also changed the way the gunner, the Gatling cannon works here. Gatling cannon will now fire immediately instead of a delay, and the rounds will travel faster. That's a big deal. That actually makes this thing, I haven't played a game with it yet on the PTR, but that actually makes this thing very formidable, and you got to watch out for that. I think it's going to surprise people who aren't going to expecting these changes. I don't know if it will be overpowered now, but we'll see how it goes. A couple of balance updates here. Greymane got some reworks. So first off, his Gilnan cocktail, across the board, the explosion radius was increased and the mana was reduced, but they removed Drought Overflow, which otherwise would have increased the radius as well. And in Perfect Aim, they reduced the mana cost, or the mana refund a bit, which is fine because they reduced the mana across the board. And they redid Wizened Duelist here at level 7. instead of the functionality where you got kills, you got points for takedowns, and everything was lost on death, every 6 basic attacks against an enemy hero is going to increase your attack damage up to 30%. You gain triple benefit for attacking in Worgen form, so 2 Worgen shots will be a stack, and then only half of the bonuses are lost on death. So we'll quick go over the dev comment. We made these changes, what? In an effort to increase Greymane's build diversity. Gilnean Cocktail felt a little lackluster without its associated talents, which is kind of true. So they made parts of these baseline. While you still get enhanced Gilnean Cocktail through talents, you wanted it to feel like a valuable part of your kit if you choose a more basic attack-oriented build. We've also redesigned Wizened Duelist to be less of a feast or famine quest by shifting its requirements to something that a Greymane in a losing game can still accomplish. Right, you're still going to be attacking folks, so even if you are getting like kind of stomped and not getting a lot of kills, you'll be able to increase your damage. This also is the added benefit of being a reward that can be accomplished regardless of the lethality of a game, since the average number of deaths can vary greatly between different levels of play. So that's kind of true. So as someone who's been picking up Greymane recently and playing a bunch of games with him, first thing, the cocktail build was kind of the standard, and if you went cocktail build, you really were tied into those 3 talents at 1, 4, and 7. So now, I'm going to hop back into the game again real quick. So now, let's go back over here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this. At level 4, my stupid face might be in the way, there's no cocktail talent at level 4 since Drought Overflow was removed. And at level 7, I mean, you can still take Incendiary Elixir if you want to go with the quest, but now Wizened Duelist might be a fine choice otherwise. So at level 4, you know, maybe Eyes in the Dark goes back in, although Stealth is kind of nerfed, so it's not as good, but you can use it to disengage just a little bit. Thick Skin might be pretty solid as well now. So there are a couple of ways that you're going to be able to go at level 4. So it does open up a little bit of build diversity for Greymane that he didn't have before. So we'll see how that goes. Overall, I'm not sure. I haven't got a chance to play with that. I actually haven't had a chance to see the comparison with the overall area of Drought Overflow. Let's take a look. Let's take a quick look right now. As a matter of fact, since we're in the game right now, we're going to go perfect aim. We'll just take Thick Skin and we'll take the Elixir. How far? I mean, that's the size right now of the cocktail. That's still pretty large. I don't know. Someone will have to check for me if that's larger or smaller than it was previously. But it's still a pretty nice size coming into it, so I don't think you're going to lose too much in terms of radius if you're trying to stack up your level 7 quest. Anyhow, moving on. We don't want to take too much longer here. Malthael got a lot of changes as well. His basic attacks now cleave, so rather than just hitting one person, it'll cleave in a 3.25 arc in front of him. So you can actually kind of AoE people. So apply your trait to more people at once, especially if they're grouped up. The damage accordingly has been reduced across the board, which I think that's fine. Soul Rip healing is reduced, which is interesting. That's just kind of baseline. Death Shroud width was increased, which also I found interesting. So the idea here, it looks like they're going with, is to make it easier for Malthael to be applying his trait to everybody, and that's kind of the point. Reaper's Mark, damage reduced from 2% to 1.75% of an enemy's maximum health, which I'm amused about. They just keep chucking that down just a little bit, every time there's a patch, the damage on his trait is just reduced more and more and more. When did it start at? 2.5, I think, and now it's down to 1.75%. Here's the big change, and the change that a lot of Malthael people have been talking about and a little scared about. Tormented Souls, which is his big money ultimate, no longer applies armor. So you no longer get armor for that, which makes it a little more risky to kind of dive in with Tormented Souls than it was before. Now, they also increased Last Rites to kind of change some of the build diversity here. Cooldown is reduced from 75 to 65 just to start. You still get the quest ability with it. You can now also gain quest credit if the enemy hero dies within 1.5 seconds of Last Rites damage, which is one of the main problems. If you didn't kill him outright, if he got a heal at the last second, he would kind of walk away or get killed elsewhere, and then you wouldn't get credit, and it was kind of a wasted ultimate. And then the range was increased as well. That was another problem with Last Rites. It was very hard to hit because you had to really be up in their face in order to pull it off. So, well, I'll see if Last Rites now becomes more picked. Tormented Souls might still be the way to go just to get the trait on as many people as possible, but it is going to put you at a significant amount of risk. Level 4, We got Die Alone. This now once again applies bonus damage if only one hero is marked, even if multiple other non-heroes are also marked. So there you go. So you can use this in solo lanes again. So if you mark all the minions, it's not going to be a problem. Throwing Shade, reduce the hits needed to complete this quest. So that's kind of neat. Black Harvest, quest completion requirement increased from 150 to 180 seconds. So they're actually making this a little bit more, I'll say more difficult to increase, but the theory is you're going to be getting your trait on more people, so it would tick faster. At 7, Massacre actually got moved to level 7, and Touch of Death had its cooldown reduced. At 13, Soul Siphon was changed up a bit. Reduced the healing reduced the healing from 4% to 3.75% versus heroes, so it ticked down in the healing. So they actually kind of nerfed some of his self-sustain with that. And then Ethereal Existence, maximum physical armor reduced from 40 to 30. Mortality has been moved to level 16 from 7, and the damage increased to 4 to 6% of an enemy's maximum health. So let's talk the dev comments. The devs tell us, Malthael, while powerful, has heavily relied on Tormented Souls to apply his Reaper's Mark during teamfights by making his basic attacks cleave and increasing the usability of Death Shroud, or providing more ways for him to apply his mark to multiple enemies. Not only does this increase his survivability, and damage without relying solely on Tormented Souls, it also gives him more options to use Wraith Strike. Now that's a big one. Yeah, you can get a lot of more mobility with that if you've got your mark on more stuff. We've also sought to increase the usability of Last Rites to make it more enticing heroic option, which is what I was commenting about before. Previously, Tormented Souls was 99.9% of the time the way to go. Lastly, the ability to apply Reaper's Mark reliably makes it much more powerful, so we've adjusted the tuning of its damage and associated talents. We'll see how this plays out. It is a bit of a change. It's going to change up his playstyle a little bit. It does mean I might give him a little bit more wave clear if you'd be able to mark more enemies accordingly, more minions across the board, without having to use his Shroud. Tyrael got a couple of changes as well. Healing and shield destruction was increased at level 1. And your passive was increased at level 1 as well for your talents. Level 4, Stalwart Armor. The armor was actually reduced. So that's an interesting one. And I think that's all the standard stuff. The rest of it's just collection stuff. This is all the stuff that was added. We kind of took a quick peek at them on the Lunar Festival page. Here's all the cool skins. Arthas has got a skin. Lunar Azmodan, Lunar Genji, Lunar all the things. Lunar mounts. Yep. Golden Lunar purchasable using gold. So there you go. Like I said, Lunar Skyrocket. The golden one is purchasable using gold. Bug fixes. Some bug fixes here. Let's see if there's anything that's super vital. I don't see too much here. Junkrat will no longer be separated from his rocket while issuing movement commands during rocket ride. That's kind of a big one. That's an interesting thing. Leaping Strike can no longer be cast while rooted. I think that makes sense. Thistle T activation no longer audible while to nearby enemy heroes while Falira is installed. Yeah, that's kind of useful. Hero voice reactions are no longer audible while the voice setting is disabled. Okay. Removed an outdated loading screen tooltip relating to tower ammunition. Good job. That's fine. Yeah, so that's the patch. It's on the PTR right now. Again, it's up for a week or so until February 5th. Go check it out right now. I'm going to probably pick up the new hero and maybe take her for a spin and see if I can get in without waiting 14 hours. Yeah, let me know what you think. Thanks all. Comment out. Talk to you soon.